All right, everybody, come on in, come on in, come on in. Y'all know you want to hear about this one. Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk podcast with Maggie and Lucy, available on YouTube podcasts as well as YouTube Music. I am Maggie, the substitute teacher. You may know me for my cooking channel. I make food and femininity content. Lucy and I are the proud founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman. Enrollment is open now. It is our flagship 8-week course where we teach ladies to be the best versions of themselves, leading with femininity, elegance, and etiquette. Go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com to register. But in addition to that, we like to give back. And so a couple times a week, Lucy and I come on here for all of y'all, and we give you our perspective as two older women because we believe the older women should teach the young. So, Lucy, please introduce yourself and let us know, what are we talking about tonight?
Hi, Maggie. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all here. Today, we are going to see, I think it's very short TikTok videos of some ladies talking about girl strips, specifically for those that are in relationships and how it could possibly impact your relationship situation if you go out and do what you want to do in those girl strips.
All right, everybody. So Lucy has sent me 4 videos tonight. They are 4 TikToks. So we're going to break this up. We're going to watch each one. Each one is about a minute long, and then we're going to react to it. I need to give you all the links. I will drop the links in the chat. I think I only put one of them, and then I realized, oh, but wait, there's more. Oh, but wait, there's more. Oh, but wait, there's more. So if you notice the theme here, Lucy and I come from traditional backgrounds. We believe in boys and girls, men and women, husbands and wives, moms and dads, in that order. So what we teach here is for the ladies who do want traditional marriage or long-term. If you want to do something other than that, that is totally fine. You probably just want to do it over there because over here you won't be happy. So that's disclaimer number 1. And then disclaimer number 2, like I said, I'll give you all the links if you want to watch them or rewatch them without our commentary. So I see you all coming in through the chat. We've got some of our students in the house. So exciting to see you all here. Hello, Erin Laura. Hello, Clue Channel. Hello, Gillis. I saw you in here. We always like to bring you all into the conversation. I'll be checking over on Instagram and TikTok as well. So without further ado, let's get into the first one. All right, everybody. I'm going to mute myself and share my screen. Lucy's excited. I'm nervous. Oh, so these 4 videos, I'm going to go with the softest one first, and then they tend to escalate for my own sanity. All right, here's number 1.
You can trust your partner, but there's environment. When you say I trust my partner, you can trust your partner, but there's environmental factors in our behavior. I would prefer a partner who doesn't put themselves in that environment, just like I don't put myself in that environment, because I respect the boundaries of the relationship. Doesn't mean you're caged, but there is boundaries towards everything, and there could be a holidays here, there, and somewhere. No, it's not the end of the world, but it's somebody who's got that craving all the time. It's not somebody who's ready to settle down. But you wouldn't mind too much if she goes.
Depends where she's going and who she's going with.
Okay.
Because I still want her to be free and to live her life. Like, she doesn't always have to be with me. If anything, it's quite nice to have a bit of time apart every now and then.
Yeah, I just think watch people do what they truly want in life and then pick your poison. Who would actually not require you to be controlling? Who would naturally be in line with your values? And that's the person you select, rather than choosing someone that's got completely different morals and like holding them by the throat to be like the way you want them to be. Just pick correctly.
All right, so let's go ahead and unpack this one, you all. That one was these TikToks are pretty fast, and maybe I'm slow, but I may want to watch it again. But a couple of things that stood out to me. So we have this woman and this man that are having this conversation about girls' trips. And what stood out to me, a few things, but I noticed at the end where she said, it's really not about, I call it wrestling someone to the ground. Ladies, especially once we get good and grown, we are who we are. And she's telling this man, and I always say, I don't believe I have a place to talk to men, but I think, ladies, if you insist on, if this is the hill that you want to die on, that's fine. Just don't expect the man of your dreams to be okay with that. And, we just finished up the wife lessons. And one of the things that I told our students when we got to the high value man or the older established man section was agree first, understand later. One of the things that modern women, and there are lots of reasons, and we'll talk about some of the reasons why these girls' trips aren't a great idea if you want to maintain a relationship. But one of the pitfalls that I see a lot of modern women fall into with our big jobs and our big degrees, we really think that we're equal partners in this relationship. And I get what you think. However, if we are going to call that man when we're stranded somewhere, call that man when we're run out of money, call that man when we are in a dangerous place and, we don't feel okay, I think it makes sense that if he would prefer that you don't put yourself at risk, agree first and understand later. But if you need to ask 20 questions, if you got to debate with him, if this is something that's always going to continue to come up, then I would say you're not relationship ready. What would you add, Lucy?
I agree. And also notice that he said, when she asked them, would you like your lady to go out on these girls' trips? And he said, well, it all depends with, I think it's the circumstances and who the friends that she's going with are. Again, I think I've said it before. My husband only trusts just a few people. Maggie is the one, and then my sisters. Those are the only ones that I know that we have gone outside without our husbands, knowing that we keep each other in check. My sisters and Maggie, I keep her in check. She would keep me in check. And that's that. Again, just be very selective about who your friends are, because again, there are some friends that will allow you to act in a very non-classy way, and then they will just eating popcorn, watching the consequences after you come back.
That is such a good point. And not only will they watch you, they will encourage you. Ladies, this is where you have to use discernment and not get so caught up in the hoopla of the moment. We all know this celebrity who is just crashing out right in front of our eyes after graduating from her marriage. And I don't really watch this content, but what you're seeing often is that she's got this echo chamber. She's got this cheering squad. She's got these girls that are like, rah, rah, girl, you do it. One of the things that it's unfortunate to say, but ladies, not everybody wants you to win in your relationship. And so sometimes, especially if you have the stability that other women don't, they will encourage you and they will put you in predicaments where you're going to do something that you're going to have to explain later, maybe caught on camera, make a fool of yourself in front of everybody so they can have that little dirt on you and then say, oh, what happened to Miss Goody Two Shoes? And I'm not talking about being perfect. Everybody has a past, but I'm saying once you know better, you do better. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and Lucy and I give our perspective from our own lived experience. You all know I'm in Atlanta. Lucy's out in California, so we're on different coasts. And so when she came to Atlanta for the finishing school graduation last year, that was all the way across the country by herself. And her husband had several questions before he approved her travel. And I respected that. He wanted to know what we were doing, where she was staying, all of that. And I was happy to oblige because I respect men and I appreciate relationships and I honor and cherish marriage, even as a divorcee. So here's my point, ladies. If you are going out with girlfriends that do not hold your relationship in high esteem the way you do, they're looking for an opportunity to sabotage it. I say that we talked about this in the wife lessons too. Once you get to a certain point of relationship, significant other or, marriage or long-term, whatever it is for you, if you're not just out here dating and having fun like these girls are doing, you are a threat to their, excuse for continuing on with their foolishness. They have to examine themselves. Well, shoot, is it okay for me to keep doing this? Everybody seems to be settling down, so they're going to hold on and they're going to dig in and they're going to want to ratchet it up more and more. So just be very careful about that. It's unfortunate sometimes women go on these trips and they're just regretting the fools they made of themselves. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat, and then we'll go on to video number 2. I see you all are feeling spicy about this one. Discipled One says, Lucy, you need to tell it. And yeah, it's a slow train wreck that we are all seeing. Aaron Laura is agreeing. Disciple says, Maggie, it's like this. To err is human, but video is forever. And that's true. I'm almost 50. Lucy is almost 60. We grew up in a time when you could make mistakes and it wasn't for the world to see. Right now, the modern age that we live in, everybody's got one of these as soon as you go out somewhere. And unfortunately, people are trying to overcome mistakes that they made in the moment. And you just have to be mindful. We talk about awareness a lot in the finishing school. Yes, shout out to Lucy's husband. We love Mr. Lucy because Lucy says we keep each other in check. No, ma'am, no, sir. Lucy is my court-appointed chaperone. She knows it, and my man knows it because I mean well, but I'm a little bit of a lot, all right? And so not everybody is okay with that, and I have to respect that. All right, let's see if there's anything else. I'm so glad you all are here. Thank you all so much for being here. Yeah, Aaron Laura says a lot of these girls' trips are crazy. And we are older women teaching the young. Would you add anything else, Lucy?
No, I think we're good to go to on the second video, and let's see, because I sent you all those videos, but I didn't really see them. So I'm reacting right now because once you show them, now I can say, oh, how I remember I sent her that, but I don't remember what they are. So I want to see them.
All right, so we're going to go into number 2. Oh, Cash Apps are coming in. Oh, thank you so much. The International Quiet Storm, so generous, sending over a $10 Cash App just to support. This is our heart. Lucy and I are making our drop in the bucket, but thank you so much for the $10. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to go back in and look at video number 2.
Why?
Why does she want to go out? Because all of your girls going out with her girlfriends.
I mean, it's why?
Why does she want to go out? Because all of her girlfriends are single and they want to go out.
Okay, you're not single.
So she should stay home.
It's just what good comes from that? Like, if you're single, yeah, whatever, by all means, go do your thing, right? But if you're not, then it's like you're just going to find yourself in a situation where, like, especially if all your girlfriends are single, they're all just trying to probably find something, right? So by relationship, let's say you're the girl, you're in the relationship, all these other girls are single, and you're just around, like you're a part of that mix. You're a part of that energy of like the trying to finding out, like. And obviously, you know, it takes a strong person who's got to be like loyal to be like, okay, like, no, like just dismiss whatever's coming her way.
Yeah.
But I think in settings like that, I think it's easier for girls and for guys, both cases here, to just like fall into what it is, because of not the pure, you know, just the idea that like, oh, all my friends are doing this, like it's okay
Yes,
for me
and
to,
the atmosphere and the
Yes.
drinks going and the vibes and the dark
yeah.
setting.
So maybe
yeah.
you're a little bit like, oh, I'll give this guy this energy.
Your girl's going out with.
All right. So, what does it take to say no? Here's the thing. What stood out to me in that clip, I noticed how the man was actually thinking logically about what is the purpose of this. And to me, that just shows such a stark difference between men and women. I always say we are not the same. We are not equal. We are equally valued, but we are very different. We women, being emotional creatures, I will speak for myself. I'm all about an experience. I love having fun and just enjoying life. However, men don't move that way. Men have to be very calculated, and men have to be very intentional about the moves that they make because they have consequences. Ladies, we know that someone's going to come rescue us, or we believe that someone's going to come rescue us. So we are a lot more reckless than men are. So did you notice he was saying, but why? So in his head, logically, okay, you're single and ready to mingle, that makes sense. Go out there and do your thing. But if you are in a relationship and you know that, what is the purpose of going out to do your thing? I think it's just fascinating the way men think. Back to my first point, agree first, understand later. But what he said about it really takes a strong person to say no. I remember before the pandemic when I used to work in the office, and those of you all who work corporate, you know, especially this time of year, there's all types of gatherings, or sometimes there may be happy hours, or you go to a conference and you have your work stuff during the day. And I remember I went to a convention, and then you have free time in the evening. And usually me, I'm like, you know, where are we going to eat? But we went out to dinner, and then some of the women were saying, let's go for drinks, or, you know, to a bar or something like that. I was done at dinner, and I'll never forget, there was a woman, because these women that were going out were all married. And one of the women said, no, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I don't want to do that to my husband. And I never even thought that far ahead, but clearly she knew these other women that when they're away from home, this is their time to turn up. And so without even putting herself in that situation, she's like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I don't want to do that to my husband. So just consider that, ladies. You know what's going to happen out there. It's not just, there are so many ways to have good, healthy fun. Ask me and Lucy. We do all kinds of stuff that is good and healthy. And, you know, we're proud to come home and tell our husbands and our significant others, ooh, let us tell you what we did. But if you feel kind of like, I want to keep this to myself, and you're in a relationship, I don't think you have any business doing it. What would you add, Lucy?
I also think that there's a difference between being single and being in a relationship. Once you go, if you're in a relationship and you go out with your single friends, I don't think there's that much of something in common with women that have no idea what it is to be in a stable, wholesome relationship. Again, they're going to expect you to act the same way as they do. A single woman, you're going to be flirting, you're going to be dancing, you're going to be doing googly eyes, and you're going to be part of that group. Guys are going to be seeing that, and you're going to be part of that group. So they're going to think that you are the same as the other women. And, you know, for me, it would probably be very uncomfortable to see my single girlfriends, you know, acting single, and me, the married wife, trying to act the same way. It just doesn't, it's not a good connection. It's not a good good thing to have, and it's not a good representation of your marriage or your relationship.
Yeah, such a good point. I want to see what you all are saying in the comments. But Lucy brings up a great point. Ladies, if relationship is what you want, and someone said that here, choices and trade-offs, choices have consequences. We heard that from the late, great Kevin Samuels, but it's true. You can't have everything all the time the way you want it your way. You will have to choose. You will have to choose. Am I a relationship type of girl, or am I a fun girl? Am I a one-man kind of woman, or do I want to keep a rotation? Am I going to build a warm and welcoming home, or am I going to use my home to sleep and shower and, paint the town red? And here's the thing. Nobody cares. Do what's best for you. We are just saying that if you want your relationship to last the test of time, this type of behavior, especially if your man is not for it, is not helping you. So when you wake up one day and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go ahead and do that, and you come back and nobody's there, there is your answer. I mean, at some point, you just have to use logic and reasoning, because you just can't continue to pretend like you don't understand. Once you get married, once you become in a relationship, hopefully the things that you find entertaining change. The things that you are attracted to change. Same thing like when you have kids. Life, it just goes through phases. We can't be young forever. And it just brings me to mind of, someone that is in our classes that, you can be doing as much personal development work as you think you're doing, but if you continue to go back to your ratchet friends, you're not pulling them out. They are pulling you down, and you just continue to be stuck. So that's what it is. And like Lucy said, the men are going to lump y'all all in the same and think, which one of these do I want to take home tonight? So it's totally up to you. All right, let's see what you all are saying in the chat, and we will bring you all into the conversation. Yes, I'm so glad that you all are enjoying this. We talked about the train wreck. And yeah, unfortunately, ladies, we don't want you to make mistakes you can't recover from. Yes, and we love Lucy's husband. Absolutely. He is amazing. And I was happy to do it. All right. Oh, yes. And thank you. The International Quiet Storm, Lucy received a Cash App as well. We're so grateful for that. So Mona's here. Disciple 1 says, single women keep women single. And, I was talking to my man about this one, and it's true. I remember hearing this from the late, great Kevin Samuels. But if you think about it this way, we had a woman in one of our wives classes that asked about her old college friends. And the man that is vetting her did not really care for her old college friends. And she was just like, is that a problem? And I said, is that a problem to him? Same thing I'm telling y'all. You have to choose. And what I told her in the wife class is that here's the thing. If they're truly your friends, I feel like mom saying this, your friends wouldn't make you do that. If they're truly your friends, they really would want what's best for you. However, because we women are selfish by nature, what my man said is that these women aren't bringing you out or putting you in these predicaments for you to loosen up a little bit, for you to have a good time. It is to help them feel better about their behavior and themselves. It's almost like his words, it's almost like they're dating you. So ladies, you got to choose here. Which relationship do you want to have forever and ever? Amen. If it is your friends, then fine. Go be the new Golden Girls. You can do that. Women are buying houses and living in compounds together. Again, nobody's going to wrestle you to the ground. However, when you look up and you're 35 and 45 and 55 plus, and there are no men in sight, you have to ask yourself, okay, what kind of behavior have I been doing that said, I don't really prioritize relationships. I really prioritize doing whatever I want to do. All right. Thank you all for liking the live stream. We appreciate it so much. Thank you for the compliment, y'all. It's cold now, so it's just like the humidity brings it down. Yes, Discipled One says, choices have consequences. And ladies, unfortunately for us, this is something that I think we learn too late. My man told me, men get this, I'm gonna be a little violent here, almost physically like beaten out of them from youth. coaches, dads, uncles, everybody's like, quit your crying, get up. You can't do that. You don't have any money. And ladies, we are the ones, you're broke, you're dusty, you're this or that. So men know, okay, if I want to have this type of lifestyle, have this type of woman, have this type of car, whatever it is, it's going to cost. So they make their decisions with intention. And a lot of us are just like, somebody's going to come rescue me today. I don't know who it is, but somebody's just going to cash at me and send me some money. Like, we are not entitled to that, ladies. We should be grateful for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can fund your own lifestyle. That's always an option. Gila says, I don't see anything wrong with going out with girlfriends personally, but if I had a husband and he wasn't happy with it, I wouldn't. Why make him unhappy? It doesn't make sense. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's
Sure.
true. And I know the feminists will be screaming to the hills. I do not care. But, I can't think of anything that I want to do that I would need to keep a secret from my man. He's totally fine. I'm having an event this weekend. We're going to go to Neiman Marcus and have our whole like ladies who lunch thing and all of that stuff. Absolutely, above board. But y'all know what happens on these girls' trips. Everybody good? Discipled one says, boom, Lucy, that's what I'm talking about. You got a choir member in the chat. Erin Laura says, my last girls' trip was to the orchard this fall. I love that. We picked apples and spent the night baking pies and turnovers. Sounds like my type of trip. Thank you so much, the International Quiet Storm. And yes, that's true. Hello, Cynthia's in the house. Yes, stay at home mom. Absolutely. And you can be. I encourage women who are single and looking for relationships. I encourage them to socialize with married friends who are in relationships, not the other way around. You think you're going to get the man of your dreams hanging around your perpetually single girlfriends. I tell the ones that I coach otherwise because they have a network of relationship-minded people that I think your single friends don't. Oh, we got Gail Knight in the house, the #1 moderator on the internet. Thank you so much for being here. Kim K says, my sister used to always go on girls' trips with her college friends, and they would always come back with some drama and mad at each other because one of them gotten them into some mess. Y'all, I have heard it. One of my friends, she went on a trip, and from the looks of it, the outside in, they had pictures and drinks and passport, this and that. And when she came back and I saw her, I was like, oh, tell me about whatever the destination was. It looked amazing. And her words, and I'm not going to say it, I'm never going on another you-know-what trip again. And it rhymes with itch. And I was like, it looked wonderful. But ladies, y'all know we are chaotic. Somebody already always comes and doesn't have everything sorted out. You're crammed 4 people into a it's not worth it. Just wait. Go with your man. You'll be happier that way. Or go with your good friends. And Killa says the activity matters. And yeah, men aren't threatened by an orchard. Y'all know what it is. We're going to use common sense here. Yeah, he's telling the truth. All right. So anything else to add to this one, Lucy?
Well, and speaking of drama, remember that huge drama that happened where the young lady, Shanquella, I think it was her name, got deleted by one of her friends. Again, you don't know who your friends are. Actually, you don't know if one of those friends may have some kind of resentful, attitude against you. And if you're out there without your man protecting you, this is what happens. So again, choose your friendships, be very selective. And for me, I've always been very selective about my friendships because I have watched, women can be very mean-spirited. And when they've got something against another woman, they could hurt that other woman. So again, just be careful about the choices you make. And the girls' trips, if you're in a relationship, I say, I think that err on the side of being more cautious and say no to them. Why go out without your man? There's no reason. You're already in a relationship. Those girls are out there looking for a relationship. You're not.
I love that. Why not just go out with your man? It'll be a lot more fun, or your good friends. All right, so we're gonna go into video number 3. We have 4 tonight, so those were the first 2. Oh, I said I was going to drop them in the chat, so let me put the first one for you all so you have it. This was the young lady, and then I'm gonna put the second one in the chat so you all have it. These are all TikTok videos, so you can watch them at your leisure. But Lucy sent these our way, so I wanted to make sure that you all had them, and I'll drop them over here as well. Oh, thank you so much. Next level coming in with the $10 super chat. So generous. What does he say here? He says the doors of the holy house of femininity are open. Thank you, ladies, for what you do. It is our absolute honor. And thank you. Thank you for supporting. I'm still shocked at how many men come through and listen to what we have to say and encourage it. So I'm really, really grateful for that. And again, ladies, we do have a course starting in January. If you want to be taught privately by Lucy and me, we only do it twice a year. All right, so let us go back in and watch video number 3. It's going to start ratcheting up.
On her having a girls' weekend away. I'm on your side here, brother. I don't agree with people having holidays separate from their partner. I think it's a terrible idea. Set a boundary, and your boundary should be respected. Now, if your partner sets a boundary with you and it's something that's important to them, you don't need to understand it. You don't need to understand your partner's boundary. You need to respect it, but understanding it is not really essential. Your partner says, I definitely don't want you to do this. I feel very uncomfortable about it. I don't want you to do this certain thing. You go, okay, even if you don't feel uncomfortable about it, that's not the point. Girls' trips are not healthy. You can have lots of friendships without spending a week away from your partner, because we all know what happens on girls and guys trips. Lots of stuff which is not conducive to a 10 out of 10 relationship. Is it hella fun? Yeah, it is. Can it hurt your relationship? Yes, it can. I'm going to tell you to do things which improve your relationship, not diminish it. If you need help, go to my profile, click the link, put your details in. I'll give you a call. We'll have a chat. My purpose in life, guys, is to help as many of you guys as possible achieve a 10 out of 10. I've helped literally thousands of people achieve a 10 out of 10 relationship, guys. I am a little bit harsh sometimes. I am, but I get results.
All right. So let's unpack that one. I love that. He said something I hadn't heard before, the 10 out of 10 relationship. And to me, that is so important. I think it was last week we talked about the label of a relationship versus the bond of a relationship. The label being my husband, my wife, my man, my woman, my girlfriend, my boyfriend. That's a label. And then there's the bond. There's that real connection. There's that felt emotion. And if you want the type of real relationship that you still, after all these years, have a joy when you see your man, it's going to require you to do some things that may be hard in the moment, but over the course of time, I think you're going to be so much further ahead. And I loved when he said those girls' trips or whatever it is that you want to do and I know he said partner. I know that's very common in like UK and Australia, but he said if your life partner doesn't agree, it doesn't matter. If you want a 10 out of 10 relationship, if you want a real relationship where you all are connected, then you do what prioritizes the relationship over what you want. And I think it goes both ways, but because we're talking to women here, sometimes if you find yourself in those empty relationships where, yeah, he's here, but not talking to me, or he's, I'm married on paper, but he never comes home, or, he just treats me like a piece of furniture. Like he doesn't really, I get 1 word, 2 word answers. If you have that type of relationship, I would say, ask yourself, what are some of the things that you've done to break that bond? And if girls trips or, being, disrespectful or anything else that you insisted on doing at the moment, at that time, is costing you now, if it's not too late, maybe that's something that you can correct. But I love that. And I love that he said, would it be fun? Yes. But ladies, we have to do a better job about appreciating delayed gratification. And that's why I'm so passionate about the young wives and mothers, the young women that are prioritizing this in their youth, because I'm going to say it. and it's going to hurt. But a lot of the women that are in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60 now ready to date is because they prioritized fun when they should have been prioritizing relationship. So now they're moving with the hair on fire, expecting everybody to care, when those of us, I'll speak for me and Lucy, who prioritized marriage in our 20s, are now having a lot more fun with our men. What would you add, Lucy?
And I like that he said when your man says that he's not comfortable, it's part of, if you do not listen to what he's telling you, is that part of that lack of respect that you've got for that man. And again, men see respect as part of our love to them. If we don't respect them, do we really love them? So again, there's a reason why men tell us what they tell us. They're always, yes, Ms. Crochet, T. thank you so much for that very generous contribution, support. So there are men that will tell us that certain things because they care about you. Once the man stops telling you those things, it means that he's already checked out. And that is something that to get it back is going to be really hard once a man has checked out of the relationship.
Yes, that is so true. So ladies, we don't want you to get it to that point. So we are shouting from the rooftops and rattling your cage. Are we saying stay home and, stare at the corner? No, don't be ridiculous.
No.
But the friends that you can have good, wholesome fun with. The friends that you can go have a weekend of developing and bonding with other women in a positive way and come back and say, oh, baby, let me tell you all about this that we did. And we went to tea and we went to dinner and we had our pictures made and it was so much fun. Men love that. I've been thinking about this, ladies. I'm going to say this. Our men want to keep the smile on our face. They don't want to have to put a smile on our face. That is the difference. So many of you all are walking around with this screw face. Lucy calls it resting mad face. And you think somebody's going to climb over broken glass to get you to show some teeth. They will not. But if you are doing something that genuinely brings you joy and is good for you, the man who loves you wants more of that for you. And he will find a way to make you happy. Believe me, like Lucy always says, our men want to be our heroes. So find the things that are good for you and the things that bring you joy, and you will see how much better. I think it's not only for you, but for your relationship, because then when you return to each other, you have something that you've been doing that was productive. That's why Lucy and I have this space. It is our passion project. It is our hobby. We light up when we're able to help the younger women. So believe me, there's nothing out there in those single streets that is going to make your relationship a 10 out of 10. So I'm going to type this. Thank you, Mrs. Croce for the $50. That is so incredibly generous. $50 super chat. And then I want to see what you all are saying in the chat. All right. So let's see here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's go over to the comments, see what you all are saying about this. Yes, Discipled One says, ask yourself. It's true. I mean, I could I could tell you the answer, or I could lead a horse to water, but what I have learned in these years of talking to women, it doesn't matter if you give them the answer and lay it at their feet, until, like every dysfunction, every bad habit, every, issue, until that person is ready and they want to do it on their own, you can't help them. You can just give them the information. And I'm starting to say, ask yourself, because there's a reason. You can act like you don't know, but you know. All right, so everybody's agreeing. You all are enjoying this. Yes, the results matter. Gillis is saying, yes, Luke Hazley, I had to completely drop a friend, family member, very toxic and a bully, especially once we're grown. There's no space or place for it. And Another uncomfortable truth, ladies, we talk about this. Lucy said that women can be very destructive. I will say this, especially when you start to win, especially when you start to pull away, especially when you say, yeah, girl, I know we've been going out for, I'm making it up, happy hour, every week, but I think I'm going to stay home with my man. He likes football. I just want to sit next to him while he's watching it. Watch how they respond when you tell them no. And this is a shameless plug for our next week's episode about how men can test women. But again, I will say your true friends and people that want you to win will respect the relationship and be grateful for the time that you do have. When Lucy's husband asked, okay, what is Maggie's address and tell me the particulars, I came right out with it. If you have a friend that's like, why does he want to know? That's none of his business. That's not your friend. That's somebody that is looking to put themselves in a higher priority than your relationship. And you got to ask yourself, is that what you want? Oh my goodness, Patty is out here dating at 78. I can't, y'all. The age just keeps going up. I can't do it. Yes, tell it. Y'all have got to listen. Well, the internet is forever. We talked about that. And I believe whether you're watching live or the replay, whoever needs to hear this message and when they need to hear it, they will. Yes, get some hobbies. It's really important. Oh my goodness, H.E.N.R.Y have been rocking with us, coming up on 3 years. Thank you for being a member. We do have memberships on the channel starting at $5 a month. If you want to do recurring support, you get some behind the scenes info, but thank you so much. You all agree? Ryan says, very true. We appreciate the support. I know. Love it. Our day ones. Gillis says, some of us are dead horses. Well, you said it. I didn't, but we all have choices and choices have consequences. That's all I'll say. We got Sinji in the house. I'll watch this later to support ladies. Didn't see a notification on my phone or email. Have a good live. Thank you. Yes, we're usually here for you all Wednesdays at 9 p.m. We will miss this Saturday because I am hosting a ladies event here in Atlanta at Neiman Marcus that you all will see all above board. But we will be back next week, Wednesday, with another relationship video. So let's see if there's any other comments that you all are saying here. We talked about women being bullies, unfortunately. So, you just have to take the losses. And like Lucy said, understand and be okay. Not everybody's going to agree with your priorities. Would you add anything else, Lucy?
And if you have those friends that are really making you feel bad about you putting your relationship as a priority, that should be a huge red flag for you, saying, she's not looking out for the success of my relationship. That's very selfish, very narcissistic, and you need to stay away from that person because that energy that person brings into your relationship could be really bad. And also, there are women that are waiting for that relationship to break up to then pounce on the man because they've been eyeing the man. So just be careful. Again, be careful about the women that you bring into your circle. It should be very small. It should be very selective, and just be careful. Very
that
small,
is so
tiny.
true. Yes, very small circle of trust, like this big. And here's the thing, and that's why I'm big on creating community, because it can be really lonely to find other women that do prioritize relationships truly, not just, when it's cuffing season and you're, bored and lonely, but you really want your relationship to last. Lucy brings up an uncomfortable truth. Some women throw rocks and hide their hands just to watch your thing melt down and then start looking at your man like, I don't know what happened, but, I've always thought you were amazing. I don't know if it's in our biology, if we just, want the best for ourselves, or, some women are just bad people. Probably the latter. But I would say this, and I told the woman in class that asked this question, well, what about my college friends that my man doesn't like? I asked her, if your friends had the same opportunity of relationship with your man or their own man, and you were the one asking them, hey, can we still hang out? Hey, can we still go here? Do you think that they would prioritize you over a relationship the way you're almost trying to prioritize them over your relationship? Ask yourself. That's going to be my new phrase. Ask yourself. I don't know. I think we all know the answer. So I wanted to just reiterate again, because I know sometimes we have young women that listen very literally. Elsa saying all girls' trips are not created equal. I think what they mean when they say girls' trips are bachelorette parties. Yoga retreats or baking events, cooking classes sound rather wholesome. Yes. And again, ladies, if you watch the videos, and I'm dropping the links in the chat, these are the types of girls' trips where your man, where your husband does not approve. If he loves you and you have a hobby or good wholesome friends and good wholesome activities, I cannot wait to see Lucy again in April. And then we're going to fly in May to one of our students' wedding in Boston. And, we will be traveling together. And I pray that we have many more of these wedding trips. But there is a way that we conduct ourselves. And my man and Lucy's husband know and approve. So we're talking about the type of relationships where your man is like, I don't like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. So we have one more video. We're going to go in. I'll go ahead and drop the link so you all have it. And then we're going to listen. I'm going to say trigger warning, because I don't like to argue. And when I see other people arguing, I get a little unnerved. But I will play this video so you all can see it, and let's see what we have to say.
Anything to be with you. Like, I like you. I want to be with you, but come on. Like,
so then why when I ask you to cancel this girls trip, you're not doing it? I don't understand.
Okay. What part did you not understand?
You want to be with me and I want to be with you.
Okay.
I'm asking you to just cancel this and I'll be with you.
And I'm asking you to fucking have a compromise, babe. Like,
compromise? I'm not compromising. You want a relationship, right? I give out relationships.
Okay,
I'm not compromising that.
I made these plans before I got into a
I
relationship
don't
with
care.
you. I spent my money. Okay.
I don't care. What's more important, a trip or a relationship with me, or future?
Babe, are you for real?
I'm asking you, what's more important?
Both are important. I spent money on this trip.
Cancel your girls trip. I'm not hearing it.
Why
Cancel your girls trip.
Listen,
I don't trust girls trips.
Why? What's the problem?
Girls be wild. You don't even go out like that when you're here. And now all of a sudden you're gonna be going out.
That's what vacation is for, babe.
Okay, I understand that. Vacation with me, shake ass, do whatever you want. You're gonna be with your friends. I don't know what's going on.
What do you mean? Okay, first of
all, I don't trust your friends. I'm gonna keep it on. It's not that I don't trust
with them. Are you fucking
It's not that I don't trust you. It's not that I don't trust you. We're building up there, but like I want to be with you. I need you to do me this favor. Just cancel the girls trip.
And I need you to do me this favor and trust me.
I don't see how. I don't know. I just don't have an arguing bone in my body. So I do not understand people that go back and forth like this. But let's see what the teachable moment is from this exchange. All right. So this couple are in the car and they're having an argument and he's recording it, which, if this is true, you all, we take these videos at face value and try to see what we can learn from it. But if this is true, why it would be recorded and shared, but okay. So apparently this woman had a girls' trip planned before she knew him. And he is asking her to cancel the girls' trip. To me, it's either a yes or no answer. I don't know why we need to argue about it, but she's going back and forth saying, why? You don't trust me? Remember I talked about the 20 questions and having to wrestle somebody to the ground? Ladies, in relationships, if you want the type of relationship that a masculine man can give you, it's going to require submission, which means, okay, like I said, agree first and understand later. You never know. And this is where we're short-sighted. You never know if that simple, okay, babe, would mean he would surprise you with a trip even better than that. But because this is the hill that you've chosen to die on, now you're basically, making him explain himself. And he said, I don't trust your friends. They're wild, his words. So maybe he's seen enough to say, I don't like you hanging around them. And you're arguing this and you still want to keep this man. And he said, we're trying to build something. So he's trying to plan a future that includes you, and you're ready to just, let it all go over this girls trip. And, I understand having spent money, but the women that I know that are single and don't want to be would spend 10 times however much that, girls trip cost for a real relationship. So I just think it's unfortunate and it's foolish, but I would say this, and I don't talk to men, but this is what you will have for the next however many years dealing with her. If you put up with this, anytime you say, we're not going out there, we're staying home. Anytime you say, this is the budget, we're not spending that. Anytime you say, we're living in this type of house or not that type of house, that's what you're going to hear for the next 50 years, because that's who she is. And I would just say, men, you have a decision to make. But ladies, the men that you want aren't going to put up with all of that. I can tell you now, my man would not put up with all that. He'd be like, okay, have fun. And you come back and it would be radio silent. What would you add, Lucy?
I agree. Unless this was a skit that they had practiced or whatever, I think that the fact that he said, "I don't trust your friends," that is one huge red flag. Obviously, he has seen the friends and how they behave, and he just doesn't trust her around in that group, because again, she's going to be lumped into that same group of wild friends. And the fact that they're going back and forth, I mean, a masculine man, he would have said no, and that would have been it. There was no discussion. There was no follow-up. There was no why. No is no. But again, it seems like maybe he's allowed it. So what you allow will continue. So again, this is probably maybe their communication style. But those masculine men, when they tell you once, that's it. They're not going to waste their time trying to justify why they are saying no to you. Because again, he can go to another woman, he can say no to her, and she will keep her mouth shut and she will do as he says. So again, that's what, you either choose to go along with what the husband or the fiance or the boyfriend says or not. And then you move along, because he will. Mm-hmm.
I love that, because he will. Ladies, you have to understand it. I think a lot of modern women are, I'll say it kindly, confused, because you get a lot of attention, a lot more attention than I think we need or we're supposed to have. But the modern world that we live in, you all get a lot of attention. And because women blossom earlier, you get a lot of attention early. So you foolishly think it's always going to be that way. You foolishly think that the man who is giving you an opportunity now is going to be there when you're good and ready at 30 and 35 and 40 and 45. He will not. Because like Lucy said, he will move on and find somebody more agreeable. And then when you're finally ready to quit fighting and let that dog lay down somewhere, it's going to be really difficult for you, because you don't have a track record of being, agreeable or working with a man. So he's like, I'm gonna have to break in this wild horse. They don't want to do that. Their life is already hard. So don't let the moments that you have when you should be finding the best deal for you. And like Kevin Samuels used to say, get out of this dating market. Don't let that fool you into thinking, okay, well, he didn't get on my program, so I'm going to find somebody else who will. And someone that you all know very well, in this community told me that his first answer is always a no. And the no is a test. Even if the no could mean no, full stop. The no could mean not yet. The no could mean no right now, but I will say yes, depending on how you respond. The no could mean not to that thing because I have something better planned for you. Ladies, we don't know everything. And again, the men that we know, the men that we love and love us, want the best for us. They go and they give of themselves to make sure that we are taken care of, have all the things that we need and then some. So I just, I'm hoping that was a skit. I hope that's not how they communicate. But if that is the case, it is just so grating on a man for you to always have to have him explain himself. He's already proven himself. You wouldn't be with him if he hadn't proven himself. And that's what I'm saying about we get so much attention for doing nothing, just for showing up cute and smiling pretty. You get a lot of attention. That does not happen to men. Why should you care? Because you want a man. You want to be with a man, or else you wouldn't be listening to us. So men realize that they have to work really hard for what they have. And so the small piece of respect, the small piece of agreeableness, the small piece of, okay, no problem. What would you like instead? That goes so far, ladies, believe me. Or not. You can have it your way. Nobody's going to fight you. You can continue to, shadow box the air and howl at the moon. The moon will not change. All right. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat, and then we'll wrap it up. Mrs. Crotty Shetty says, I really appreciate y'all. We appreciate you too. Thank you so much. 100%. We're so glad that this is helpful. Again, this is just our way of giving back. Elsa says those last two were a headache. I know, right? This is just our way of giving back. Charles says, ask only once. And that's the other thing, ladies. I have heard this from women that I have coached. He only gave me 3 months. He may have only given you 3 days and decided after day 3 that this isn't going anywhere, and kept you around for 3 months. Ladies, you have no idea how you get moved into other categories, and you have no idea this is going nowhere. But they will continue to entertain. They will continue to amuse themselves and have fun with you. And then when they're tired of it, they'll move on to someone else that has real relationship potential. So don't think when you're good and ready, you're going to be the one who's going to say, okay, I'm ready now. Like that man said in the last video, the men are the ones that offer relationships. We are the ones that offer access to ourselves. So if you want a relationship with him, you need to be ready on day 1 and stay ready and stay consistent. Because if you think you're playing games out here, you will be the one played. All right, let's continue on. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Next level says, fellas, don't argue. Tell them one time in a row and go. Ugh. All right, it's getting tough out here, ladies. Mr. has some clones in the chat. But yes, y'all are agreeing. Absolutely. Let's see. Ryan says, some women want what another woman has and are comfortable being the side chick because they don't want a committed relationship. Understood. Or some of them hang out on the side waiting for their turn. That's an option too. Discipled one says, you'll hear her long before you see her. Oh, how can you tell if you're with a contentious woman? You'll hear her long before you see her. Yeah, unfortunately. And, there's a young woman in our class who said, I don't really consider myself argumentative, but I do ask a lot of questions. And she really meant that genuinely. So ladies, if you think, I'll get on board. I just want you to explain it to me. That's going to hurt you in a relationship with a masculine man. Just know that. All right. Because they think multiple steps ahead, and you say, no, I want to talk about it right now. That's not how men move. Men want someone who's going to be 100% loyal and trusting in them. And then once they are rested in that place, they may explain, or you can ask. But if he's trying to drive the bus and you're like, okay, tell me what you're doing, before you do it every single time, that's not going to help you. So just be mindful of that. Even if they're innocent questions, learn how to time it. And when you take our courses, you get my marriage communication speech for free. And Charles D has a restaurant recommendation for us in Boston. So apparently, Lucy, we have to go to Legal Seafood, and I'll report back. All right. Would you add anything to close us out, Lucy?
No, I think that, if you look at the comments for the men, they are in agreement. And again, we listen to what the men are telling us. And for young women to say that they're on their own and they're going to do whatever they want, you're going to find yourself in a really sticky situation when you're 35, 40, because you've been wanting to do whatever you wanted to do in life without listening to those male figures that have been around you. So again, this is another session to remind you that the men tell us how, their preference in the behavior. And if they don't want you to go on a girls trip because he doesn't trust the group of people or the environment that you're going to be going to, and if you do it, then that goes back to, the respect is gone, and you're going to find yourself coming back to maybe an empty house if you're not in a committed relationship. If it's a boyfriend, he's going to say, no, I can't be around this woman. She wants to do her thing, and that's great. Move along. And remember that also men, they can live on their own. They've lived on their own for centuries, so they really don't need us, ladies. Once they ask us to be around them, it's because they want us to be around there. They see something in us that will enhance their lives. But if you're going to be, an argumentative, wanting to do your own thing, that's not what a masculine established man wants.
So true. Yes. Take it from somebody who tried to fish for a compliment and came up, with a worm. Do not ask what your life would be like without me in it, because the answer will hurt you, because the answer is it would be the same. So we hope that this was helpful. We have a lot of fun sharing with you all. And again, I've dropped the videos in the chat so you all have access to them. I'll just take a minute to let you all know about a new course that we have coming up. It is called Relationship Basics. This is coming up in about a week and a half. We got a request and we got some feedback. Believe it or not, we got some feedback that some of the content that we talk about when it comes to relationships is too advanced, and some of the ladies don't know what we mean. So if you don't know what we mean when we say you need to study your man, you need to anticipate his needs. What are his likes? What are his dislikes? What are his, his morning routine? How does he like to unwind? If you don't know any of this stuff about your man and you just been happy to be here, I just want to put on a dress, go out, eat a meal, and take pictures, and you are clueless to this man that you want to be in a relationship with, we have a new workshop that's coming up Saturday, December 14th and Saturday, December 21st. It's going to be a 2-week workshop where we are going to ask you all to ask yourselves, but we're going to give you some tools so you can really know what you need to do to study your man and what you need to do to anticipate his needs or ask him if you don't know. So it's at teachablemomentswithmaggie.com. I think I have it in the banner here as well. You'll have lifetime access to the recordings. It will be taught live at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 12 p.m. Pacific. You'll have some materials and, of course, the marriage speech as well. And because we are now reaching out some people across the globe who aren't in the same time zone, all of our courses now are available on demand, which means we teach them live, but now you can register and do self-study and have instant access. So that applies to not only the new one coming up for Relationship Basics, so that is available to you. We also have the last version of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman. But if you want to come to the graduation, you have to do the live class in January, or the one we just wrapped up. And then our wife lessons was amazing. We had 4 weeks of wife lessons. Highly recommend. All right, so that is everything. I hope you all enjoyed. Again, we will miss you this Saturday, but I will be having a very lovely ladies event that I will be happy to share with you all. And we will be back next week, Wednesday at 9 p.m. reacting to another Psych Hacks video. Disciple says, if you can study a course, you need to be a student of your man. Well, you said it. All right. I'm glad this was helpful, everyone. So until then, we will see you all and we will say adios. And thank you so much, Mrs. Crotty Shetty. Thank you so much to Next Level. And thank you so much to the International Quiet Storm. We appreciate you all. And we'll see you next week.